Hello, Home Slices. It's Kira with Home Slice Adulting, coming to you for my third installment of this new type of, vlog series called Driving Home. And so it is Friday. I'm trying to make this kind of a tradition or a staple on my channel where we come together on Friday after work. For those of you who don't know, I live in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle to be a little bit more specific. And here, for those of you who do not live on the West Coast, our time zones are like way behind people who, live in other time zones. So I'm just right now getting off of work and heading home for the weekend. Thank goodness. But anyways, for the past two driving home installments, I've been talking about things that are going on in popular culture, and I thought I would change it up today because I have a lot of instincts about things, and I've learned that I need to trust myself more and trust my instincts more, and I guess that's kind of what I want to talk about today, more about me, because I feel like I don't really let you all into my life, or I haven't made a video where I let you all into my life recently. So I want to talk about something that I've been dealing with kind of on a personal level, and just share that with you. So for those of you who, none of you know, because I've only told like family members or people that are a little closer to me, that I was diagnosed with PCOS about a year and a half ago, I'll say. And PCOS is not anything like that you could necessarily die over, so I want to get that out of the way right now. It is polycystic ovarian syndrome, or polycystic ovary syndrome, and it affects your lady parts, really. And so essentially the reason why I have it the reason why I've developed it, I'll say, I do not believe that I have always had PCOS. That I believe I developed it because most of the people who have it, they say about 80% of women who have PCOS are overweight or obese, and that the symptoms of PCOS are you having cysts in your ovaries, and having irregular periods, and producing too much androgen, which is a male hormone. And so according to what I have read about PCOS, your doctor diagnoses you with PCOS if you have 2 out of 3 of those symptoms. And I had an ultrasound of my uterus, and I guess they saw some cysts there, and I have had irregular periods for the past few years. And I believe that it's due to my weight gain, because obesity exacerbates PCOS. So that's what I've been dealing with. And it's basically a hormonal situation. Now, the way it was described to me is that when you gain weight, fat holds on to estrogen. It stores estrogen. And because, fat is holding on to that estrogen, that means that the estrogen is not going throughout your body to regulate your menstrual cycle, or, things of that nature. And it throws everything off. And so, for the past maybe 3.5 years, I've been struggling with irregular periods. That there was one year where I was almost always on my period. Maybe it was kind of like things had flipped, because the whole time that I've been on my period, besides the past few years, I have been regular. And once I started to gain a bit more weight, things just got really wonky, and it was like I was on my period for 3 weeks out of the month, off for 1 week, and back on. And it was like almost non-stop for an entire year. I had my period almost all the time. And then the following year, I almost never had my period. It was was very rare that I had my period at all. And so it's kind of like it's alternating. Every year it flips to something else. I either am always on my period or I'm never on my period. And it has flipped back to being on more than off. And while in the reading that I have done about PCOS, it does not explicitly talk about how having PCOS affects your mood, but we all know that hormone levels impact your mood. And for, the past few weeks, I have been struggling kind of with my mood a little bit. I'm usually like very cheery. I have a very happy disposition, and it's odd because I feel like when I watch my YouTube videos back, I feel that my personality really does not come across as much as I would like it to. I feel like I'm like a very fun person, very interactive, and I think maybe that's the issue, is because I'm not actually interacting with anybody. I'm just talking to a camera, and while I'm talking to you guys, we're not interacting in person, and I feel like it's really hard for my personality to kind of shine through. But typically I'm a very happy person. I love to laugh. Things usually don't get me down. And lately I've just kind of been like not feeling that. Like, things get me upset a little more easily. I feel, a little more irritable than I feel like I normally would be. Today something really simple happened, and I kind of raised my voice to express, my upset about it, and I feel like that, that didn't feel like me. And I feel like I've just kind of been struggling because, on top of the actual mechanics and logistics of having to deal with being on your period all the freaking time, you have this emotional part that sucks. And I don't want to just blame my hormones. It sucks being on your period all the freaking time. It's like really hard to describe, and I feel like I'm going through a little bit of a challenging point, where you're spending extra money on feminine products, and you have to always have feminine products handy because I'm not just on my period, I am profusely on my period. It is thank goodness that my YouTube analytics says that most of my viewers are women or are female, because I know a lot of men get grossed out by this type of stuff, but my PCOS has me having these heavy periods that are very clotty, that are painful. So like I have cramps, and it's like I still have to go to work. I still have to push through this stuff. I'm still, in school, and I felt so bad on Wednesday. On Wednesday nights I have class because I'm getting my MBA, for those of you who don't know. And I was having like such bad cramps that I almost went home. Like, I didn't want to go to class anymore because I just was not in the mood. I was not here for it. And I had, but my team members for, a group project, we were supposed to be meeting that day, and I did not want to meet up with them. And I just, decided to push through it, and ended up basically going to class anyway. But it's like, I'm like struggling. Like, for the first time in a long time, like even that first full year when I was on my period, basically the whole year, I don't remember experiencing these emotions of not feeling like myself, and it's bothering me like a lot, because like today I was today there was like a special presentation. I work at a private school, and there was a presentation by these musicians, and they were all string instruments. There was a cello, viola, and a violin, and they were playing music by Black artists. As you know, we just came out of Black History Month, and so the school I work at really focuses on social justice and awareness and stuff like that. And so this was like a presentation about, you know, Black music, Black, you know, classical music. It wasn't like hip hop or anything. Again, they played strings, and they talked about a little history wise what some of these, you know, Black composers did and what they did for music. And they would play these pieces, and they were like almost tear jerking. Like, I was fighting back tears, like, because of how beautiful the music was. And while good music can drive you to tears, I don't know that I would feel that way if I wasn't going through like such a challenging time right now. As much as I like to talk about trivial things on my YouTube channel, such as reality TV and, you know, trying out different products, these things are not things that are like serious. These are lighthearted things. I feel like people should be able to come to my channel to get lighthearted stuff, to, you know, hear my opinion on certain things. But today I just wasn't in the mood for it. I am concerned about my health, and I really need to get on the healthy tip. Like, I really need to get my diet in order. I really need to start exercising more and taking off some of this weight, because I'm under the impression that by losing weight, it will lessen and completely alleviate my symptoms of PCOS. And so I am just kind of over this. Like, I'm just really not here for it. And usually I'm here for it. And, you know, not feeling like yourself, it just sucks. And I don't know if anyone else out there has PCOS, where, you know, you've been diagnosed, or if you experience some of the same things that I'm talking about and maybe haven't been to your OBGYN, and maybe you want to go and, you know, get yourself checked out to see if this is something that you are dealing with. Because there, you know, there is birth control that helps to regulate your period, but I can't take a pill every day. I'm not comfortable with a ring being inside of me, or a you know, IUD being inside of me, or like I'm not comfortable with the idea of being on birth control to regulate my period. And I just kind of want things to go back to being normal. And so I think that means that I really need to start focusing on my health, and that should translate into my channel, because my channel has always been about like what's going on in my life. And because I know I need to do something different regarding my health, I feel like it's definitely appropriate for me to include you all on the journey with me. So I'm gonna have to make some plans, figure some stuff out, and figure out how to live a healthier lifestyle, because I'm not a moody person, and I you know, am not a sad person, and I don't want this to become the norm for me. I want to feel more in control of my life, and not as if things are just happening to me. So I'm sorry if this was such a downer. For those of you who are still with me, I want to thank you for watching this video. I want to thank you for clicking on this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you know somebody who's dealing with PCOS, or who has similar symptoms that I described earlier in the video, you know, tell them to go check on their health. And, you know, not all women who have PCOS are overweight. And, you know, we're all different. And so, but it's important that we all check on our health. And so, thank you all for watching. Again, this is just a kind of like off the cuff type of situation that I'm dealing with today. Not, you know, feeling like myself, not feeling my best. And I guess you all can expect some like weight loss videos in the future. So thank you all so much for watching. Peace out, home slices.